Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Brew Crew Nation 98. And today we're going to be breaking down yesterday's victory of the Green Bay Packers over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I did do a previous video of my initial reaction to the game, and let's just say I was not coherent at all because I was having very high anxiety, heart rate was going. I was just so happy we finally beat Tom Brady. But today we are going to start off with an actual breakdown with me actually knowing what I'm talking about. First, let's go through the stats for the game overall, and then we'll break down half by half and what happens. Aaron Rodgers went 27-35 for the Packers with 255 total yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception, which is very good for him in Tampa because he normally is absolutely awful in Tampa Bay. The running game, however, was non-existent with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon both getting 12 carries, but both were held under 40 yards each, so not really much happening there. Receiving for the game, the big one was Romeo Doubs had 8 catches for 87 yards and a touchdown. Randall Cobb went 2 receptions for 57 yards. Alan Lazard 445 with a touchdown, and Robert Tonyan was the other big receiver with 6 receptions for 37 yards. Fumbles, there was Aaron Jones lost a fumble, but Jerron Reed and Darnell Savage both recovered one, and Keyshawn Nixon had forced fumble, and Devondre Campbell and Rasul Douglas also both had a couple pass deflections between them. And big plays from the defense. Devondre Campbell had 14 total tackles with a tackle for loss. Kenny Clark had 4 tackles, 2 of them sacks, 2 of them tackles for loss. Rashawn Gary, 3 tackles and 1 sack. So, overall, the Packers did pretty good on the game. However, there was the whole Packers don't do anything in the second half trope came back today, as the Packers had 3 drives in the first half, all of them really good. 2 of them ending in touchdowns, but the last one was when the Packers got down to like the 5-yard line. Aaron Jones fumbled on the 2-yard line. And like what happened in last year's NFC divisional game, the Packers just completely shut down on offense after that. However, unlike that NFC Championship game, we came out with a win because our defense was really good, holding Tom Brady in check pretty well throughout the game. And Tampa, he went 31 for 42 with 271 and only 1 touchdown, and that was in garbage time at the very end of the game. But a really big thing that we were all worried about heading into this game, because in the Bears game, we let David Montgomery run all over us, gave up 122 yards to him on the ground. But we held Leonard Fournette to only 12 carries and 35 yards. Both defenses this game really were able to stop the run really effectively. And we were just able to really hold down the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense. That does come with a caveat, though, that Brady's top 3 receivers, and Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Julio Jones were all out of the game. 2 with their injury, 1 with suspension. But still, very good defensive performance. And the special teams was actually a positive for the Packers, which is a very good sign after the disaster that was last year. Pat O'Donnell was an absolute beast on the game. Was 7 punts of an average of 48.4 yards. But the reason why it was so much lower is because he was able to pin down the Buccaneers very good, with 5 of them inside the 20 and several of them inside the 10, and one of them was downed at the 1. And there's another good sign for the Packers, as well as David Bakhtiari was able to play in the majority of this game, which is so good to see him back. There's obviously a tell as well this offensive line was doing very good, as the Buccaneers only got 1 sack on Aaron Rodgers, and he had relatively clean pockets throughout the entire day. And so having Bakhtiari and Elton Jenkins back is going to make this offensive line really good. And I'm really excited to see how this team progresses throughout the year, as the young receivers start getting used to being with Rodgers, and especially after seeing what happened with Romeo Doubs today, it was just absolutely incredible. But we need to be more consistent on offense. We were doing so good. I was thinking we were going to end up blowing out the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. but we only ended up winning by 2 points after the defense was able to have a really, really good stand. But that is my breakdown of the Packers. Later on this week, we'll be going through a preview for the New England Patriots game next week, and hopefully the Packers continue on this win streak and make it 3 in a row after a disappointing start to the season. If you want to hear more Green Bay Packers news and breakdown, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. And this is Brew Crew Nation 98 signing off.